Hey you guys, what's up? My name is Melissa Motta. I play Amy on the YouTube web series called Save Me. Now, Amy is a confused, desperate for love woman who is constantly abused by her husband, who is named Nick. And I just wanted to make this video to let you all know that I am not just an actress who just stepped into these shoes. I took this role on as Amy because I felt I could relate to it. And by relate to it, meaning I have had my fair share of the whole domestic violence relationship. Now, I am a little bit uncomfortable talking about it, I will be honest with you guys, because sometimes I feel like I'm still not over it. And sometimes I feel like I am, but overall, it does take a lot. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does take a lot of forgiveness, but it is difficult to get past something like that. Plus, it wasn't that long ago that I got out of that relationship. But I just wanted to go ahead and share with you guys my experience, and hopefully you all will be open to me too, and maybe we could even throw a few ideas in for the show where you think it would reach out to more people. Throw in how you felt or an experience that you think that we should put on the show. But let's start. I met this guy when I was about 12 years old, and when I turned 16, we started to have a relationship. And during that relationship, I felt a lot of the times brainwashed, deceived. I felt like I could not be myself. I could only be myself when it was agreeable to what he thought. And I remember feeling a lot of anger most of the time. I just couldn't even function because he would always be on my mind. But to get more specific, it started the very first night that I actually went with him towards it started the first night I actually went with him to start a relationship, because I really did like him. I was heading to his house, and I told him I had to meet up with my friends to get a ride to his house. And during that whole time, he would constantly call me, "Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you at? Where are you? You're barely coming," and then hang up on me. And that should have been a sign for me, but I was young. And let's see. There was a time where I was putting on makeup, and he jokingly said it who am I getting ready for? But I could tell it was bothering him. When we'd be at parties, he wouldn't let me step out from behind him. He would always watch me of who I'm talking to. I couldn't talk to one of his friends in a friendly manner. I couldn't talk to one of his friends without him taking me outside and making a scene. The phone situation, I couldn't even text on my phone. I'd be texting my mom, and still he would think I'm texting somebody else. I always had to have my phone on silent, could never really look at it. And at that time, I was already living here in Las Cruces, and he was in El Paso. And for about 3 months, every weekend, I would just head over there to be with him. I really did like him, but it was a very unhealthy relationship because my family didn't like him, nor was he a good influence on me. Now, I'm not trying to judge him at all. I know we all make mistakes, and I know a lot of it was my responsibility as well, because I chose to be in that life. I chose to go with him wherever he went. I chose to drink and do all that things at a young age and get in trouble, and I do take responsibility for it. I understand that. But at the same time, I was young and he was older. I think he's about 4 4 years older, 4 or 5 years older than me now. And the reason why I chose to be the character of Amy, because at the time when I was talking to the director and writer, when they were telling me who Amy was, I felt close to her already. Since I was just getting out of that relationship, I felt like it'd be a piece of cake. But as filming started and I was in front of the camera to get into those emotional states and flashback to those times of just feeling at my all-time low, it does take a toll on my brain. Even now, to think of the right words to explain that relationship, it is really confusing for me. I haven't spoken to him in a while. He was a dear friend of mine. I do hold him close to my heart, because regardless of the wrongs that we did to each other, he was a good friend. We had a lot of good times, and that's probably the best thing that came out of that relationship, just the random adventures that we had. But it ended bad because we were both immature. We were both selfish. We were both just so inconsiderate of how the other felt, of what we were doing to each other, what was right and what was wrong. And even though I could say I don't regret anything, I wouldn't change it because it made me the person I am today, I would go back and change it if I could. I would just stay his friend. I would reject him in a loving relationship wise. Because then I would still have my friend. I would still have that buddy to talk to and have those random moments with. But unfortunately, I can't change it. But I am starting to forgive myself slowly. I understand that things like this do take time. All I can do is wish him the best instead of praying for myself and hoping that I get past those emotions and I don't feel that way of just hurt when I think about it. The most I can do, I heard that from a very close person in my life right now, that the most I could do is pray for him that he steps over any huge obstacle in his way and that maybe he'll change. Because the type of person he is, he doesn't really change for anybody. And I feel that sometimes that gets in the way of what he can become. I know it is hard to admit to anybody that you still have feelings towards a person that did so much damage to you. But we're all human. I mean, us females or males with having abused by their girlfriends, like, we stay in those relationships, I feel. I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying this is what's right. But we stay in those relationships because we do have so many feelings towards those people. And we do feel like we can change them. And even if we don't feel like we can, we still stay in those relationships so we can try to. And like I said, he is still a dear person to me, but he's someone that I can never go back with. And if I could give any advice to anybody that's in a relationship like that, there comes a certain point where you have to let your mind take over your heart. Because your heart gives you nothing but heartache when you're in those relationships, and in those times you gotta put yourself first. You gotta let yourself know that it's time to think about you. Because when you keep doing things over and over and getting the same results, that's insanity. You have to move on eventually, and that's where I finally realized that he wasn't the one for me. I mean, I'm 20, and a lot of you might say, well, you're still young, your mind is still growing, you don't know what you want yet, and that is true. But at that moment, I made a very big decision in my life to realize that he wasn't that person that I could go on with, to grow with. And it is hard. It was hard. It still is hard to not pick up the phone and say, hey, to not answer his text messages when he tells me or updates me on his life. It is tough. And unfortunately, there is a lot of people that have to go through that. So just to let you all know that you're not alone. It is difficult. And I hope in Save Me that I do play Amy well enough to where you guys feel connected to it, because that is what's most important to me. I want you all to feel like I just wanted to come off as real as possible. I don't want to seem like some girl who just picked up this role because it was handed to her. No, I chose Amy I accepted Amy because I understood her curiosities towards the relationship she's in. I understand her wanting to change someone. I understand her feeling towards wanting to be loved so bad. I understand her wanting to retaliate towards that other person. I understand her anger. I understand all of her. I understand. So I'm doing my best to connect with you all, and that's why I'm doing this video. And I hope that you guys all will respond back. If you are in that type of relationship, I don't want you to feel like you can't talk about it. If you want, you can even message me privately. Just be open about it. And I don't want to sound like a counselor, but it's true. When you hold things like that in, it does damage you. You need to let those things out. And if you have that person who just listens, do it. And if you don't, I'm right here. So feel free to message me, ask me any questions, and maybe in the future I will make another video answering all your questions. And furthermore, we'll see where it goes. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope I did get my point across of letting you guys know who I am a little more. And for last words, just know you can get through it. Anything's possible. You guys are amazing. Not because you watch Save Me, but you're amazing because if you are in that relationship, you're still pulling through every day. You're awake today to watch this video. You're awake today to spend it with family. You're awake today to live another life, to make a change in your own life. You guys are amazing. I love you all. Hope to hear from you. And thank you for taking the time to watch it. I appreciate you guys.